Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
In the 90s, we were just teeny tykes. We went to movies and our bikes. We wanted to be DJs, but we were just teeny gals. So we went off to college and we remained best pals. 20 years later, we're still watching flicks and we're bringing you the feeling bit by bit. Sweetie and Sweety are here to say it's the Large Marge Santa's podcast. Hey.
Edwards, what the hell happened?
Hesitated.
May I ask why you felt little Tiffany deserved to die?
Well, she was the only one that actually seemed dangerous at the time, sir.
How'd you come to that conclusion?
Well, first I was going to pop this guy hanging from the street light, and then I realized, he's just working out. And how would I feel if somebody come running in the gym, bust me in my ass while I'm on the treadmill? Then I saw this snarling beast guy, and I noticed he had a tissue in his hand. I realized, he's not snarling. He's sneezing. Ain't no real threat there. Then I saw little Tiffany. I'm thinking, 8-year-old white girl, middle of the ghetto, bunch of monsters, this time of night with quantum physics books. She about to start some shit, Zed. She's about 8 years old. Those books are way too advanced for her. If you ask me, I say she's up to something. And to be honest, I'd appreciate it if you eased up off my back about it.
Hey guys, welcome to the Large Marge Sent Us podcast, your favorite podcast where two Sweety sisters talk about their favorite flicks from childhood. I'm Sweety.
And I'm Sweety.
And today we're talking about one of my favorite movies of all time. Well,
what?
Okay, no, but when
we start every podcast like that, it's getting a little old.
I know. No, but when I saw this, so in what year was it? 97. Yeah. This was my favorite movie at that time.
I mean, I believe it, knowing who your favorite person was in 1997.
Exactly.
And before.
Sure. So it is
Men in Black. Here come Men in Black. Galaxy Defenders.
Nah. So yeah, Will Smith. This is like peak Smith. Peak Willie style.
Peak Willie style.
Will Smith was my third fake boyfriend, right behind Zach Morris and Zach the Black Power Ranger.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute, third? I really thought he was your first because it was
oh no,
so long. Oh,
if we want to get technical, my real first fake boyfriend was Marky Mark when I saw him on Liz's cassette tape, and I was 5, and I thought that's what I want.
Your start of the Will Smith crush was from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air days or the movie?
I think Fresh Prince days.
Yeah. Okay, so it would have been early.
Yeah. But I loved him so much.
So cool.
And in the 90s, he hit a real strong streak of good flicks.
He was the leading man
of action comedy.
Yeah.
I guess you would classify it as. But yeah. So this one is a little different. Traditionally, we watch the movie and we talk about it right after. Mm-hmm. However, this week we actually got a chance to see this on the big screen. So we saw it on Thursday night, and today is Sunday. So now we're podcasting about it. So it's a little different. It's a little different.
Though for us and Men in Black, opposed to many of the other films that we've already covered on our show, this is one we actually did see in theaters a couple times. So this is not someone we and we did have on video, and Sweety here watched it thousands of times after we saw it in the movie theater, but we did see it in the movie theater, I believe twice, possibly once at the drive-in, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe. No, I think I saw it twice in the regular.
Okay. I saw it, I think, at the drive-in.
Theater, but I saved my movie ticket stub for forever. I had that until we sold the house. I think.
You know what it was? It was, remember my best friend's wedding and Men in Black were at the drive-in together.
Okay.
And I had already seen my best friend's wedding, but I loved it so much I went to the double feature and saw it again with you guys. We would actually see 2 movies at the drive-in. That double feature is a good deal.
I would fall asleep though.
It was
real
wicked
sleepy
late.
in the second one.
And depending on what movie it was, if it was too dark of a movie, it's really hard to see.
Remember we saw The Horse Whisperer? This is the second one, and it was so
God. That is the worst movie.
I
on
fell
the
asleep
planet.
immediately.
So bad.
Ugh. Anyways.
But
yeah, I loved Men in
Sad
Black
note.
so much. So 97. So I would have been in 3rd grade, I think. 5th grade.
Yeah, I was about to go into high school.
Okay,
so.
yeah. So, yep, I think it was must have been the summer.
I thought it was earlier than that. That's why when we looked and it was 97, I was like, whoa, because I felt like I was younger, but I really was not.
Well, anywho. So as you know, it stars Will Smith, which we talked about constantly. Also, Tommy Lee Jones.
Good one. Good one.
And Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yep.
And that woman whose name I don't remember.
Linda Fiorentina.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Rip Torn.
Rip Torn.
Or Red Buttons. Who is it?
Who's Red Buttons?
Somebody else. Red Buttons is... Red Skeleton is the guy who...
Just keeps getting better.
Red Buttons was a comedian, I believe, in that weird Alice in Wonderland that was like the live action one with like John Stamos like in his first role.
Who's the one?
Red Buttons, I think, was the rabbit, but Red Skeleton is this guy I thought who did all these like. Oh no, that's Rich Little. Oh my God, Red Skeleton.
No.
Okay.
Sounds
you
like
said
a
I
thing.
can't use my phone, but I'm looking it up.
No, you can't. But wait, who's the one in Wayne's World 2 where that throws the confetti? And Cassandra's like, wow.
Yeah.
Blah, blah,
That's
blah.
Rip Torn.
No, this is Rip Torn.
No. He's a god in our country. Who is that?
I don't know. Look it up. Anyway, so that's the cast. This was, as I learned, and the intro for this movie was based on a comic book, actually, or a graphic novel. No, I think it's a comic book. But lesser known, no one really knows a lot about that. But it kind of made me sad to know that because I thought now it's not as creative as I thought it was when I saw it. It seemed like such a big deal that it was so
Everyone I
creative
just
and
named
stuff.
is a comedian. Red Skeleton is a comedian. Red Buttons is a comedian. Rip Torn is in this
Who's
movie.
the confetti thrower. Wayne's World 2. So, anyways, but yeah, based on the comic book, blah, 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 blah. Good times. Super fun flick, though. Great in the crowds. Everybody laughed. Loved it. Are you done looking up who the confetti thrower is yet? I'm sick of talking to myself.
Yeah, you're really boring.
I'm trying to have a dialogue. It's not working.
Okay, don't Google WW2 confetti thrower.
Oh
It doesn't
my
come up with anything.
God. Do IMDb. He's in the movie. He'll
do
be
it
in the
later.
cast.
It's too much for me right now.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, so let's just get into the movie and talk about the synopsis. Are you ready?
Yep. It's time for the Sweety synopsis. Yeah.
Sweeties. James Darrell Edwards
man,
the third.
I want to do something good. I want to do Egger suit. That's what I was going to do for the end of my thing.
Okay. Well, still good. You
Egger
still do
suit.
it. Good. It's a good one. James Darrell Edwards III is an NYPD cop who likes to wear his cool sweatsuit type jersey stuff when he's out on the streets.
Yeah, why is he the only
catching
cop
the
not
bad
in uniform?
guys? I don't
What
know.
up with that?
You get plainclothes uniform.
You know what I thought was really cool? That he
Plainclothes cops.
wears his badge as like a necklace.
Yeah,
I just thought
'cause
that was
that's,
really
like,
cool.
I think they can do that if they're like he's like sort of undercover but not.
That
I
was
don't know.
a crazy parachute jumpsuit situation he had on, and it was orange, which was such a strange color.
His outfits are great. Yeah. I wrote down a little snip about that. But yeah, so he's chasing this guy through the streets in New York. He's like, tell him to freeze. He won't freeze. He quickly realizes that this guy he's chasing is very unusual. For one, he does crazy wall flip jump things. He took out this crazy ass gun, threw it on the side of the street, and it just burst into flames and was gone. Mm-hmm. It was no longer existing. He like Spider-Man style, like climbs up the side of the Guggenheim, and then
I didn't know that was a Guggenheim.
Yeah, and then at the very top, he like blinks his eye funny, and it's like a whole different set of like eyelid that like looks like it's blinking. And he keeps saying like, your world's gonna end, he's coming for me because I failed. And then the guy jumps off the side of the building and dies. So James is it's hard to call him James
I
before.
don't know that was his whole name.
So he's in the interrogation room. His boss is like giving him, because somebody died, so they have to like go through the motions. So he's trying to tell him what happened, and nobody's believing him because they're like, what do you mean he blinked different eyelids, he crawled up the side of the building, doesn't make sense. All of a sudden this feller in a black suit comes through, and he like unplugs the camera, and he's like, could you see that gun again, like if I pointed it out to you? And he's like, yeah. So he takes him on a little trip to a pawn shop, Jack Jeeb's spot, and Will's like, oh, I know this guy, I'll go in and talk to him. We'll shake him up. And he talks to him, but then it's not working. So then the guy in the black suit, Tommy Lee Jones, comes in and is like, show him the imports, Jeeves. Show him the imports.
But at this point, he has told him that it was an alien. Well, he was like,
Not really.
Will Smith knew he's not like a person. He's from another planet. Like something is up. And remember, Tommy Lee Jones did tell him a little bit. He's like kind of not believing.
Not really. He was like, did he say anything else to you? He said, yeah, the world's going to end. And then he's like, did he say when?
I thought he like gave him a little bit more.
I don't
like,
think so. Not until, no, I'm not sure. So anyways, so one thing leads to another. The guy's not showing the gun, so Tommy Lee Jones like blows his head off. Will Smith thinks he's deranged and psycho with a gun. He's like, put your hands up. But then you hear like this, you insufferable, blah, blah. Do you have any idea how much it stings? So he has several heads apparently, and they can get blown off, whatever. So Will Smith's like, what the fuck is happening? But then the guy pushes the button and all the guns come up, and he points out the gun that the alien had. So that was that scene.
Right. So then Jay, let's call him Jay, is just like, what the hell is going on? And Tommy Lee Jones takes him to a Chinese food place and basically
wipes his memory before that, though.
Wipes his memory and then takes him to a Chinese food place, convinces him that they were just like drinking and like he forgot what happened or something. But gives him this card that has the embossed, nice business card, BT Dubs, MIB logo, and on the back this like written weird address, which I'm like, why don't you have the real address written on there? Why was it written in pen? That's weird.
So no,
because it changes. Does their address change?
No, so some random person doesn't find the card. I don't
know. Anyway, so he's like, show up here tomorrow, like at 9 a.m. So he rolls up again in a really cool jumpsuit, and under, gives a business card, goes, and it's him and like a Marine, people from the Army, people from like the CIA, like whatever, all these young dudes, no women. Weird, or is it? And they're like, we're looking for the brightest of the best, and we can only take one of you guys. And they still like don't know what's going on. And they haven't told them yet. So then they go through all these different tests. So the first one is like a written test, but they don't have desks. So they're just like supposed to like write on their knees, I guess. And like Will Smith is like, fuck this, and like brings this table over from the middle of the room, makes this like really loud noise. Mm-hmm. The second test is like a physical
gun
test. So like all these like aliens pop out, and it's like target practice, and they're supposed to shoot them. But Will Smith doesn't shoot any until this little girl pops into the picture, and she's holding these like quantum physics books. And so he's like, the lights come back on, and like all the Marine guys had shot all these aliens, and Will Smith has only shot the little girl. And so the administrators go like, can you explain yourself? Like, why did you shoot the little girl? And he was like, well, and he gives this like whole hilarious story about why he didn't shoot the aliens and why he shot the little girl, which he nicknamed Tiffany. It's pretty funny. I'm not going to ruin it for you.
He didn't nickname it. Zed was like,
why'd you shoot little Tiffany? Why'd you shoot little Tiffany?
Yeah.
And then
Tommy Lee Jones is watching this up in the top
in a two-way mirror.
With a two-way mirror with Rip Torn. He's like, you sure about this? And Kay, who was Tommy Lee Jones' character, is like, yes, this kid ran down like a cephalopod on foot. That can't be easy. So he knows he wants him, so whatever. So Zed comes back in. He's like, all right, we have one last test to do, an eye exam. And he leads the guys through. And then Tommy Lee Jones like grabs Will Smith and is like, listen, come this way. So they're walking away, and you see that all the other people get neuralized. And then so they're out. So then he shows him the book of like how the aliens first came here and why they have this operation that keeps them under wraps. And Jay just does not believe him at all. And he's like, you need a CAT scan. Please show me the door. So, because he doesn't remember anything that happened the night before because he got neuralized. So he doesn't remember that. So then he's like, all right, I'm going to get some coffee. You want some coffee? So he hears these little high-pitched voices in the coffee room. And he like looks in, and there's 3 little stick bug-like aliens drinking coffee and being silly. So that convinces him that, oh, okay, this is real. Aliens are real.
And then he's kind of introduced into the whole. I guess he does. Does he bring him to the whole thing? No. So he's like, okay, here's the deal. Like, walks him out to. I think they're sitting on like
Battery Park.
Yeah, Battery Park, the end of Manhattan, looking at like the Empire State Building, all that stuff. He basically gives him the rundown. Okay, you want to join this organization? Basically, your life as you know now will no longer exist. We have to wipe all your fingerprints. Like we destroy all your records. You will have no contact with family. You are this like anonymous person who, you know, is helping keeping the aliens that we know who are living on our Earth in check. And so he's like, okay, I'll give you to like sundown to think about it. And they do this kind of like little kind of this interesting I don't know, not psychological kind of discussion about like why you can't tell, why they have to keep it so secret. Mm-hmm. And it's my favorite quote of the whole movie.
Me too.
Where he goes, you know, what, like people would, you know, Will Smith is like, oh, why don't you tell everybody? People would believe you. And like people are smart. And Tommy Lee Jones goes, a person is smart. People are dumb, panicky. Like he gives all these reasons, which is so true.
He's so smart, that Tommy Lee Jones.
So he's like, fuck, okay, I'm going to think about it for a while. And he has this nice contemplative moment on the bench as the sun is going down over New York Harbor. Real deep, real deep.
Yep. And then he, next day, wears another funny tracksuit and comes in. And he's like, all right, I'm in. But, like, don't call me sport or nothing, blah, blah, blah. And then Tommy Lee Jones is like, all right, kid. Yeah, so you recognize the skills. Tommy Lee Jones is like, well, something about your skills. As of now, they mean completely dick. And then the doors open and they're walking out into the Men in Black headquarters. So there's all these aliens around, a whole bunch of other guys in suits, and it's where everything happens. So he kind of gives him a tour, and then he gets on the suit. They wipe all of his ID. They send him out on his first thing. So meanwhile, at some point, well, earlier in the film, a flying saucer came down and attacked this guy named Edgar, who is this horrible, violent farmer who abuses his wife in upstate New York. And so the bug has kind of eaten him and like sucked all of his everything out. So he just wears his skin as like a suit.
And a bug is kind of an alien.
An Edgar suit.
It's a gross, like
giant
parasitic alien type who just like goes from planet to planet trying to create like warfare to destroy things.
Yeah. So yeah, it's real scary, real bad. So he's out on the loose. So that's kind of their main job, is to figure out what this bug is. What is he doing here? What does he want? So they find out that he is actually trying to assassinate this leader of an alien race called the Archelians. And they need to know why. And soon, this is like a super confusing plot now in my head, especially because we didn't just watch it like tonight.
Yeah.
So the Archelians find out that their leader Rosenberg has been assassinated. So they send out a warning and they're like, deliver the galaxy or blah, 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 blah. So they find Rosenberg dead at the morgue, and Will Smith finds this little like button thing which opens the head, and there's this little tiny alien in the head, and his last dying words are, to prevent war, the galaxy is on Orion's belt. So Will Smith tells the agency that, and they're like, what do you mean it's on Orion's belt? There's no galaxies on Orion's belt, it's just these 3 stars. So like, well, dead end. So they're trying to figure out this clue, whatever. So then at some point, Will Smith realizes that this Rosenberg guy had a cat, and the cat's name was Orion, and his belt actually was the collar. So there's like a little galaxy, little charm thing on his collar, and that's what it is. So the bug finds this out around the same time also, goes back to the morgue and tries to find the cat. And the lady that works there, who they had met earlier, Laurel, he's like, where's the cat? And she's like, I don't know. So the cat's kind of hiding because it knows he's a bad dude. So he's like, I'm not going out there. Fuck that. But then the cat tries to save her or something. Yeah, right? Or Will Smith arrives.
Yeah, this is bad.
This is terrible. Anyway, so he's got the galaxy. Edgar swallows it, runs off. His ship, they have his ship because they got it earlier in the movie or whatever. Yep. So now he needs a new ship. So he remembers that, or he finds a postcard with the spaceships in the Queens where the World's Fair was. Mm-hmm. So that's where Edgar's going to get on the ship and get out of there. So they go after him. They like get out these giant guns and they shoot the spaceship, and it comes back. And meanwhile, they only have an hour to get this galaxy into their hands and back to like whatever, to tell the Archelians they have it. So the bug comes out, and then he eats their guns, and then he eats Tommy Lee Jones.
Well, Tommy Lee Jones purposely gets swallowed to go after the guns. It's very dramatic.
So then Will has to keep him keep him from getting on the second ship. He like steps in all these cockroaches and is like, oops, was that your auntie? Like, is this your uncle?
So that he really is, he loves bugs. His bugs are his jam.
Will's? Oh
No,
no, the bad
bad guy.
Yeah, the bugs loves the bugs.
The whole movie, he's just defending bugs and gets very upset when people kill bugs.
Yes. So so he does that, and then you hear like the gun starting up in the tummy, and Kay shoots from the inside. He explodes. Then they got the galaxy. They tell Men in Black, we got the galaxy. But then you see in the background like the little tiny like the Edgar's coming back basically, and is like walking, and then he's just about to kill them again, and then Laurel, the woman from the morgue, shoots it, and it's gone. So then they're back at headquarters, and Will thinks he's gonna neuralize Laurel, the morgue lady, again, and he's like, let's not do it, she helped us out a lot. And Kay's like, actually, I haven't been training a partner, I've been training a replacement. So he's like, what? No. So it's a really sad moment, and then he does it, and then Will has to neuralize him, so he doesn't remember. And then it like flashes forward a bit, and now Kay is reunited with his long lost love that we'll talk about that. It's a point of confusion / what for me. And then Will's new partner is Laurel, the mortician lady, and they're now the new team going to do it.
Yeah, that was confusing because was he really training a replacement? Because his partner left in the beginning. So we missed that part where they show where in the very, very beginning scene, Tommy Lee Jones's old partner, who's this really old man, even older than Tommy Lee Jones is, stopping this guy who's trying to cross the border with like a bunch of Mexicans. So they get stopped by border control, and then the Men in Black roll up, and they're actually looking for what alien in this group of aliens. Get it? Alien versus alien. And then they get one of the aliens, but then like one of the other actual real like INS agents like finds them, and one of the alien like freaks out and almost tries to eat him. And the old guy's like trying to shoot his gun and he can't. And then Tommy Lee Jones steps in and does shoot him, but the guy's like, man, I'm too old for this shit. Like, you got to neuralize me. So what I don't get is like, why would you be neuralized like immediately? They're like, okay, just do it to me now. And so then like they'd be like,
why not?
Hey, because Tommy Lee Jones is going to be like in this suit standing outside of the Men in Black headquarters, like all those years have just disappeared, and you're going to be like, what are you supposed to say?
Well, like when Will got neuralized outside the pawn shop, he was out there, but then they were in the like, and I feel like his next memory come to was Tommy Lee Jones like laughing and being like, haha, and they had already eaten like a couple egg rolls at that point.
Yeah. No,
it must be.
If it's your final day of the Men in Black thing, wouldn't you want to be like, okay, let's go in and change, put on some real clothes, come back out, get a suitcase, then neuralize
I'm sure
me.
they take care of that. I'm not sure.
It just seems too immediate.
Yeah.
Also, it just didn't make sense because he's like, I was training a replacement, not a new partner. But he really did need a new partner because his old partner like went away. Right. And who trains a replacement and he like goes on one mission with him? That doesn't seem like enough time.
Well, they've been on a couple. He was obviously capable. I think it was.
He doesn't know anything about aliens.
It was an accelerated course. Whatever.
He
knows
was too
enough.
fast.
Anyways, yes, it's a little confusing, but that's it. So apologies for that terrible synopsis, but that's over now.
Not like plot is not that important. I feel like it's not. It's all about like the kind of cool stuff that happens, not necessarily plot point wise, right? Because the plot's just okay. I mean, it's just like alien, and it's just is like kind of thrown out the window. I don't know. I don't think it's the most like important thing.
All right.
So I don't blame you.
Great.
For that horrible synopsis.
Hey, you're part of it too.
You wouldn't let me talk.
Yes, I was.
Chatty Cathy over there.
You talked a lot.
Okay, so let's start off with, I think everyone's favorite part of this movie, other than Will Smith, would be the Vincent D'Onofrio character of Edgar.
Ooh.
Not favorite in like you like him, is not like favorite in like disgusting, ew, but what everyone remembers from this movie probably, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's a great scene. It's really, what is that? Dramatic irony when like the audience sees the spaceship approaching like in the distance, and you only hear Edgar's voice in his house being like, swear to God, Beatrice, you blah, blah, blah. Like the only thing that pulls its weight around here is my goddamn truck. And then that's when the spaceship crashes into his truck and explodes it. It's great. It's classic. Great stuff.
I mean, let's talk about Vincent D'Onofrio for like 2 seconds. One being, Sweety alum, or Large Marge alum, Thor from
Adventures
in Dawson's Garage from Adventures in Babysitting.
Yes.
So crazy because he was like skinny and fucking fit. Like that, you can't even believe that that's the same person, right? Number 2, Vincent D'Onofrio The Cell, right? Is he in that?
He's in that. He's in Full Metal Jacket. He's fat in like all of those. So
And the gross, he's in the Law and Order Criminal Intent, where he's like super intense and crazy and is like literally like chewing on scenery. I love that phrase. Just like such a nutty guy in that. So perfect choice for this role, I would say. And disgusting. And I don't get how he did it, because they like gave him makeup to look like someone was like him but not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like little saggy skin, and then it's Rick Baker again, who's done like all of the great effects for like every movie you've ever heard of, especially a lot of the ones that we've done, Harry and the Hendersons, and this one recently we just did too, Coming to America, and so he gets more and more gross as the movie progresses. Yeah. So it's a similar thing happens in American Werewolf in London, which is also Rick Baker's special effects. So it's the same thing where you're just like getting grosser and grosser. And by the end, you just can't even look at him. He like cracks his bones all this weird way. He can't like move his arms.
The girl next to me in the movie theater like would not look at the screen every time he was on the screen. She's just like, ew, 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 ew. And it was just like, it was nuts.
Don't get how, so at the end when he takes the suit off and he's in his full form as like this giant
How
bug.
did that bug
Yeah,
fit?
how did that bug fit in that thing? I guess it's because he doesn't have like the exoskeleton, like you know how bugs don't have
know if you can make sense out of it.
It's very bizarre. And the little spaceship, like, because that spaceship seemed teeny tiny for him to be in.
Right.
So I don't get that
like,
either.
Go down to the size of a bug.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so gross.
yeah.
And he's always got just like cockroaches coming out of his shirt. And
It's a really good character. And probably the best part of the character is that his wife is played by that hilarious actress who always like plays sort of like funny little frumpy characters. She's like red hair. She's like kind of like a fun face. And she's this great accent in this. And so the way she says his name is Egger, like Egger, even though it's Edgar.
Edgar, your skin is hanging off your bones.
Egger. He wants some water. He asked for sugar water.
Sugar water.
So that part is so great when Beatrice is that character's name, and when she's involved, it is funny.
Yep. But yeah, I love that part when Edgar comes in. He's like sugar water. What water? No, wait, sugar in water.
Yeah. You really got that down. Very good impressions over here.
But I love that part. Yeah, it's pretty great, and he's a pretty terrible, scary villain, and you just hate him a lot. Yeah. So my favorite part is the alien test in the Men in Black headquarters. So the reason why I love it is because Will is actually passing all of the tests with flying colors. Actually, if you like think about it. So they're not, obviously Men in Black doesn't give a shit like if you can get answers right on a test. What do you think that actual test was? The written test.
Useless. The whole point was that they purposely didn't give them desks and stuff to write on, so they wanted to see who would
resourcefulness.
Yes.
So Will was like, all right, fuck this. Like, there's a table over here. I'm going to pull it over here and sit down and then do the test. So he passed that one. The second one, there's all these aliens around. So all the other guys are shooting the aliens, but Will pops little Tiffany in the head. So the reason he tells Zed why he did it is like, well, first I was going to pop this guy, but then I was like, he's just working out. Like, how would I feel if I was in the gym and someone came and bust my ass up? Like, that'd be rude. And then I was going to like hit the snarling beast guy, but then I realized he's not snarling. He's sneezing. And they zoom in on the monster's hand, and he does have a Kleenex in his hand. So I think he was right in that test was designed to show you that not all aliens are bad, and that some aliens are hidden in the fact that I think little Tiffany was an alien, and that she was probably bad. So she had like quantum physics books. She's in the middle of the ghetto, white girl, all these aliens around with quantum physics books. She about to start something, Zed. Those books are way too advanced for her. That's such a good part. Really but yeah, and so we passed that one. So I like that because you don't think about it in that way, and all the army guys are like, this guy's a loser, like he sucks. Yeah. And the other thing I just realized is that I think they had an opening for like one agent or whatever, and it must have been the only letter that they had opening was like a J, because all the other guys' names are J. Well, the one guy that gets up and speaks is like Sergeant blah blah blah. His name is a J too. Jake or something. So I wonder if they were just looking for J's, and that's what that.
But if they wiped your identity, can't they just give you any letter?
Yeah, I know. It's a little suspicious. Also, that they can just wipe your identity with just like going through all the computer records, like bye-bye, social security number, bye-bye.
Well, aren't you going to need them when you get back out?
Well, that's why that's like the amnesia. I don't get it. So
I'm too rational for this film.
So, okay, so Tommy Lee Jones's character became a Men in Black, or became an agent when he was like in his 20s, and he was on his way to give his girlfriend like flowers or whatever, and then gets stopped, and then he becomes an agent shortly thereafter
because he like stumbled upon I guess they didn't have the neuralizers then, so like everyone who was there, they just had to be like, okay, like you can either join us or maybe we have to kill you or something.
Hope they were a good fit then. Anyway, so yeah, he becomes an agent, and then he leaves his sweetheart behind to just live her life or whatever. And then they're like, did she ever get remarried? And he's like, no. But what? Why?
Yeah. How long were they dating?
Right.
I mean, give
like,
up.
You like sacrifice your whole life waiting for this person that's probably never going to come back.
He doesn't fucking know.
He watches her like every day
he
on the
watches
weird satellite.
her, but he doesn't know what's going on in her head. Maybe she's met men and it just hasn't worked out.
Well, anyway, so she has been waiting for him, because when he wakes up from his coma, quote unquote, and he's somehow finds her. So that's my question, is that when he wakes up after he's neuralized, the last thing he remembers is her, so that's why he goes back to her and finds her.
I don't understand why you have to neuralize the Men in Black who have already been through it. In case they tell people? Seems like they have been in the organization long enough where you wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, good point.
Like that seems like a dumb thing.
That's
They're
totally dumb.
too neuralizer happy. They're just neuralizing everybody.
They're
like
just popping everyone.
Cool it.
Yeah. But I did have like a thing when I was little, and I was like, I bet I've been neuralized, and like I would never know.
That's the funny thing about the whole film, is that who knows if you have been, because you see all these people who see stuff and then immediately they get neuralized, so it's like it never happened.
Right.
So if it never happened, like it could have happened to you. So we could have alien stuff happening. We just keep getting neuralized and don't know. Yeah, think about it.
Fucked up. Do you have a favorite part? Don't hurt yourself.
I kind of like the thing in the morgue. I thought that part was funny.
The first time in the
Well, I really like the medical examiner person, though she has a wicked inappropriate outfit for a medical examiner. I just want to tell you, she wears like a mini skirt and these like little cute boots.
Well, I feel like she's the only person that works there.
Yes.
So, I mean, she just does what she wants.
For the first time you see this character, she is in the police station, and when Will Smith is talking to his lieutenant or whatever about what he saw, she like pops into the briefing room and is like, I believe you, Laurel, whatever, chief medical examiner, like come by the morgue and like during this time, like I want to show you something. So she knows something is up because all these like weird bodies keep popping up, but she keeps getting neuralized. So how she remembers like that, I don't know. Anyway, and then someone comes along and neuralizes her, so she forgets. But she just seems like really like too involved in this whole racket, let's say. Anyway, so then you stumble upon her in the morgue, and she is like really into dead bodies and loves her job. Clearly, she like hates the living. Mm-hmm. But she's wearing a very sexy outfit for anyone in any profession, unless you are a stripper. I don't know. It just seemed like an inappropriate outfit. And I think they were sexing it up because she was like the one woman in the film. Think about it. Other than Beatrice.
Yeah. It's true. And she's very sexual, and she's like... what's the thing she says to him? She's like, do you like to know what I do? Sometimes when it gets really late.
Yeah.
She'll say things like that to him. She'll be like, wow, you have really pretty eyes. She just like comes on to him immediately. It's like every guy's dream, like, oh, a woman who immediately wants to have sex with me. So that's funny. But I loved her when I was little, and I wanted to like
she's cool.
be her, and I was obsessed with it.
And I'm so happy though. See, the whole thing gets validated because she becomes a Men in Black. So it's like, okay, fine. I guess they weren't using.
Should they change it to men or women in black?
Yeah. What the fuck? So then, and the reason I bring up the short skirt thing is because it's so annoying that when she gets kidnapped by the Edgar person, he's like trying to bring her up to the spaceship as like a snack. And she's like, kicking him and struggling, and she's this like mini skirt on. You can like see her whole ass, and it's like, wow, I wish she'd wear a mini skirt to work now, huh? Like, what the hell? Why did they put her in that? Again, I think to have like the one shot of like some sort of sex appeal to men in the movie.
It was PG-13. I feel like the bulk of people seeing this were like younger.
Yeah,
So, but
still, men, boys, and men.
but do they need that? Just I don't know.
They think they always
I
need that.
guess. Okay, so that's your favorite part, huh? Is it when the alien in the head?
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I love the whole scene where these are Killians. So they are, they're one of the royalty is like his disguise is this little Jewish jeweler, and he's so cute, and he has this little cat, and he's obsessed with this cat, and he like carries him around in this little like carpet bag kind of thing. So he goes to the restaurant, and he's so cute, and they order pierogies because this like other guy comes, this like big Frankenstein looking guy, also our Killian.
No makeup.
Yeah,
That's just how that
That's
guy
just
looks.
how that guy looks. Isn't that the guy who plays Lurch in
Yeah.
Addams Family?
Yep.
Also directed by Barry Sonnenfeld.
Oh my God.
Who's directed this movie. Anyway, so they meet and they're like eating pierogies, and they both get murdered, which is really sad. But anyway, so then the bodies go into the morgue, and there's this like little tiny like button on the side of the guy's ear, and they like tug it, and his head opens up, and it's this mini baby teeny little weeny alien, and he's like so it's like a little like cockpit, so he's basically like controlling the guy's body and everything with like it was a whole machine. So cool.
Those are mine, but yeah.
So he's really tiny,
and he's trying to like force out these last words to Will Smith, and it's so agonizing.
and that's why the Orion's belt got confused, because he was trying to like say Orion's collar, but he couldn't think of the word for collar.
he was saying bees though.
Well,
maybe he thought I think you can call that a belt.
no, that's where the whole confusion was. It really was a collar.
I always thought that it'd be really funny if it was like Will Smith was really dense and was just like not saying the right B words at all, and he was like, the galaxy is on Orion's and then Will's like, bed, bread box, boobs, binky, like all wrong things, and the guy just gives up and he's like, oh, forget it. But luckily he says it, but it's belt. But I just don't know what other B word he would be trying to say.
I think he really meant collar. He called it belt by accident, and then they just kept going with the bees. I don't know.
Poor little guy.
Poor little guy. Can't speak. ESL.
Oh no.
But yeah,
that part's
that
real
was
cute, and he's real sweet. When he dies, it's real sad.
Yeah.
And the cat makes a little like sad noise.
Yeah, the cat being sad is the worst.
Dude, was the cat okay? I thought I remembered that you saw the cat after Edgar grabbed it and took the.
He just got the little thing off of it.
But we don't see him.
I think the cat's still living. Oh, I guess he's not living in the mortuary anymore because Laurel is now L.
I hope he's
She's an
okay.
MLB. But you know how there's that website about like doesthedogdie.com?
Yes.
Is there a doesthecatdie.com?
Probably. It probably applies to like most
Pets. Okay.
Good. Yeah. So let's see. Okay.
Question for you.
Oh, sure.
So what do you think? Okay, so who would pick this life if you are a Men in Black and someone comes up to you and they're like, okay, like you have to say goodbye to everything you know and like this whole career as a police officer, all your family, all your friends, whatever. Will Smith didn't strike me as a person. I mean, you don't know anything about his family, and obviously for that reason, because he makes that decision to be like, I would rather chase aliens than like ever see my family again. So maybe he really doesn't have any. But like, what kind of a person? And maybe that's like how also why they like picked him out, because maybe he was kind of alone.
They only found him because he was such a great
yeah
like guy chasing this alien and blah blah blah. Like I don't think they actively were seeking
and obviously
him.
like really loved that job.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I just think it's people that don't have like, yes, you can have family, but if you don't have like prospects of the future, it's probably the kind of people that would like.
But he would have.
But he wasn't dating anyone. He wasn't married and didn't have kids.
How old do you think he's supposed to be?
Like 27. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say late 20s. Would you be a Men in Black?
You're gonna ask that. I wrote that down as well. Maybe I don't know. Like
You would say goodbye to me
if
forever?
my whole family like moved on and had lives,
like died?
no, like if you got married and had kids and you had your own thing and like Liz has her own thing and Mom's got her own thing, I'd be like, well, there's nothing left for me here.
And so you'd become a Men in Black instead of an aunt? That seems like a big jump.
Then I could have purpose.
Your purpose is to be a sweet aunt.
Oh, great. I mean, I wouldn't personally do it, but I think that people have that mentality of like, if the ship's like, I want to be the one to save people. Like, would you sacrifice your life to save the world kind of thing? It's kind of the same thing.
But I feel
because
like
you are sacrificing
the
your
Men in
life.
Black role is like mostly like maintenance of the aliens. This was like a specific like violent crazy
It
thing
is,
that happened,
but
right?
it's several things. It's keeping the aliens in check. It's making sure the bad aliens don't do bad things,
Okay.
which that's a small percentage, but it's like real world crime.
Right.
Most people are good, and then there's just these criminals that you have to fight. So, and then another part is preventing humans from realizing that there are aliens. So it's keeping that under wraps. So it's just it's both things, and I don't know. It seems
You would
fun.
never be a Men in Black.
No,
please.
I said
you
I
would have
wouldn't
to
do
say
it.
goodbye
I'm
to
just
Desmond
saying.
Forever too. BTW.
I don't see why he couldn't come.
He
be
can't.
my-
You can't bring your cat
How do you know it wasn't like a
because then the
in the writing
aliens
in the
could use that
contract?
against you.
No.
Yes. They don't have pets. I'm sorry. You would just be D. You just be D.
I also like the part where he gets the tour of like the headquarters and they see all these funny things, and there's like the two aliens, like Ewoks and Bob or whatever,
Yeah.
and they're monitoring all the aliens in the world or the country. Do they do the world?
I think it's country. I feel like each country has their own Men in Black.
wow. But it's funny if you like look closely at all the pictures on the screen. Like I think Michael Jackson is one, and I think Steven Spielberg is like in the top left corner, which is funny because he's the executive producer, as he is the executive producer of
they
every
make
movie.
jokes about a lot of celebrities being aliens.
Dennis
Dennis
Rodman at the end, and then
Elvis.
he didn't say Elvis was an alien.
That's like one of my favorite jokes. So they're in the car.
Elvis isn't dead. He just went home.
Home.
Yeah, heaven to home.
No, went home. He's an alien. Oh my god, that's like the biggest joke. Sweety confusion. Okay, there's this great joke. So they're a car that they have, and it's like a normal Buick or whatever, like or Ford. And there's this red button. And when he gets in the car the first time, he's like, don't ever push this button. He's like, okay. So then they're going after the alien. And he's like, remember when I told you to not push that button? He's like, you need to push that button. So he pushes the button and the car is able to go and drive on the side of this tunnel wall and goes this crazy, crazy speed. So Will Smith, I think, doesn't have a seatbelt on. So he's like bopping all over the car. And Tommy Lee Jones puts in this like 8-track. And it's Elvis. And it's this like Elvis song. He's teasing him about it or something. And Will Smith is like, don't you know Elvis is dead? And Tommy Lee Jones is like, Elvis isn't dead. He just went home.
I guess.
Yeah, that's the whole joke. I guess that is like the biggest joke of the movie. Everyone in the theater was like, woo!
The biggest joke.
It's like one of the biggest jokes of the movie.
No.
He just went home.
Boy.
Little sweetie.
Oh, I'm sorry. The one time I'm confused about something.
Yeah.
I had some other confusions I had or jokes that I didn't understand is in the beginning when Kay takes him to the Chinese food restaurant after he neuralizes him. He's like, see, that's what Will's like, who are you? And Kay's like, listen, that's what I'm talking about, man. You need to lay off the sauce. And because they're in a Chinese food restaurant, so it was very unclear to me what that meant. So I was like, the egg roll sauce? Like the duck sauce? That's what I thought that meant, but it's alcohol.
Oh, that's a sweet, naive one, though, but could totally still work.
I know. Like most of our confusion.
Lay off the duck sauce.
Also, when he sees the Men in Black car for the first time, and Jay's like, the unknown, like, technology, all this technology available to us, and we're cruising around in a Ford POS.
Yeah.
I thought that was a kind of car.
I just got that this time, too.
And I was like, what's a POS? But, and of course, I didn't get it until I was older, and it means piece of shit.
Yes.
It's just typical. Those are my main confusions. I'm sure there were many others, but and here's a weird one that I still am confused about. But when I saw this in the theater, there were these two guys, probably in their mid-20s, who thought it was the funniest fucking thing when Edgar gets in the cab and then throws the cab driver out on the street. and then takes off his like seats
The beaded
thing
seat
and the little
thing.
crown thing on the dashboard and throws that after
Yeah.
him too. They were like, they laughed and like looked at each other and were like, like it was an inside joke or something. And I thought it was like I don't know, was it just racist? I don't know. I'm still very confused about that and why that was funny.
What
to
is
them.
up with those seat things though?
I don't know. They're like beads.
Are they back? Is it supposed to be really good for your back? Seems like it would be very
I don't know.
uncomfortable.
I mean, I mean, really looking back now, the only reason they did that was so that they would know that he was in a cab. So I really don't think there's like an ulterior motive
Agreed.
there.
Agreed.
But just a strange thing memory that I remembered all of a sudden. Yeah. Do you have scenes that particularly scared you when you saw this?
I think the whole movie was pretty scary. Like excuse me. I thought it was much more scarier than I remembered, and we were seeing it in the theater, so that was really cool because we got like the full like effect of it. I feel like I would have been scared to see this even I was like 13, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. And you were in 5th grade. I mean, was it scary to you? Because it's like very intense, and there's a lot of like explosions, and the aliens are gross looking, and I don't know. I feel like it would give kids nightmares.
No, I mean, just like the end part was scary to me. So the big scare is that scene at the end. I was talking like the real fake out where you think the bug is dead and then it's like crawling in the back.
But like,
behind
remember
them.
like when they like he kills the exterminator, he like puts the poison thing when the guy's like up on the ceiling.
I mean, I don't remember being scared, and I was famously scared of everything. So I'm surprised at that. Maybe because it was more sci-fi and because I loved Will Smith so much. It was
Yeah.
different. I don't know. But so the scenes that stuck out to me the most was actually, so these are the kinds of things that I'm afraid of. That scary ghoulish guy who is the key shop on the street.
Yep.
So they need to find out more about the bug. So Kay's like, we have to talk to this guy that knows everything. Like, he'll know. So they pull up to this little like ghetto key shop on the side of the road, which is just like a literal kiosk of keys. And there's this terrifying white like Skeletor guy with like stringy gross white hair, and he looks so scary, and there's a little pug next to him. So of course Jay thinks like the scary skeletal guy is the guy that he's like, well, that guy's definitely an alien. And then the pug's like, you don't like it, you can kiss my furry butt. Which is another great part that a lot of people love, Frank the Bug. But so that skeleton guy is so
Frank the Pug.
scary. I meant to look that up. Like, he must be another guy that doesn't wear makeup and is just scary naturally,
Yes.
right?
Scary naturally.
So that part always scared me to just look at him. And then the last part, the big scare at the end, just I was always just hiding.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it was going to happen, so I would always hide or like put my hands over my eyes and then cover my ears to not have it happen.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. It's a super fast movie. Everything happens like kind of fast. Like that's why I think the plot's kind of like not important. I mean, it is, but it's just like kind of choppy, and you're just kind of weaving in between all these different like alien little like things to do with all these different kind of aliens, because all the aliens look different. It's not like it's like one race of aliens here. It's like all these different aliens. They all look different. Like, remember that scene where the guy is like, wife is delivering a baby on like the expressway, and like and it's basically like a big squid, and then the baby pops out and it's maybe like a baby squid. Oh, I love that part when he's like, "Congratulations, Russ." Whatever his name is, the alien.
Reggie.
Congratulations, Reg. It's a squid.
Squid. That's funny.
Oh man, yeah, it's just like funny little one-liners. And Tommy Lee Jones is great in this. He's a lot more handsome than I remember
I
in
know.
the 1997
And it's just like
era.
so much just younger. You're like, whoa.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Because he's like, I mean, again, I feel like we say this so often. 97 does not seem that long ago. In like, and this actually, they decided to do this movie because it was the 20th anniversary. So it was 20 years ago. 1997 was. Case in point, we're in the theater for this. And I would say everyone's about our age in this movie theater, right? Let's say late 20s, early 30s. And they decided this game right before. It involves like showing pictures of aliens from movies and like screaming out their names. So they call people up to the stage. And there's this kid behind us who from the beginning was like flipping out. Like we thought he was like maybe had like some sort of syndrome. So just very crazy behavior. And he keeps yelling out, dude, you gotta do the 84 Ghostbusters. You gotta do the 84 Ghostbusters. So this movie that we're watching Men in Black, and it's part of this series called the Rewind series. So they pick old movies and they decide to show them. This kid is obsessed with Ghostbusters, which is great. Like, Ghostbusters is awesome. I'm obsessed with it too. Anyway, so he gets chosen to go up to do this game, and the guy's like talking to him, and he's like, wow, I think he just kind of realized he was kind of young once he got up there. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what year were you born? And the kid goes, 1999. What the fuck? So he's like 17, 18 years old. And that is not even that young anymore, but like 99. So this movie was so he wasn't even born when this movie came out.
I know. It's crazy.
It was just like, I think everyone in the audience was just like, what?
But that was 20 years ago.
20 years ago does not seem 20 years ago.
Right. But it was. Right. And Tommy Lee Jones looks so much younger, even though he looked so old back then. But compared to now, it's like, whoa.
Now he's like legit old man.
Yeah.
So it's
but
like,
he's so good. He's so like hardened, wizened. Just he doesn't smile like the entire time.
Yeah. And it was such a good combo of like the Will Smith cool guy, but like also getting his ass handed to him, and Tommy Lee Jones just kind of being the cool guy. Of a different era, but like, and how like their kind of two personalities kind of like mesh like that. And like, I will say this, like Sweety was saying here, the epitome of Will Smith cool was this era of time. So between all of his music, right? So we're talking about Big Willie style.
Will 2K.
What's that one? Party in the city when the heat is on.
Miami.
Man on the mission.
Welcome to Miami.
Yeah. What was after this? Wild Wild West. He did the song that went with that. The Men in Black song. So they play that on the credits of this movie, and it was like, woo! It was so fun to hear that song. We're all kind of like bouncing in our seat, like, here come Men in Black.
Yeah, I mean,
and I just love that. So that song is taken from, I think we mentioned this before, from when we did Big. So if you remember the scene from Big where he's jumping on the trampoline to this song, it's called Forget Me Nots. Forget Me Not. And it's the, what do you call it? What do they call that when rap songs like take the sample?
Sampling?
Yeah. So the sample that Men in Black took is the chorus to that, but it's like, do, 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 won't let you remember.
The good guys dressed in black. Remember that.
Want you to remember. Yep. So anyway, so the Men in Black song like starts, but it starts with that like dun, 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 dun. Oh, here comes. Sorry, it's just a really good song, and I just want you. I think you all should go and just like, if you have Apple Music, just be like bloop 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 bloop.
And
Men in Black.
Jam out to that.
We'll play it at the end of this.
It's so good. But yeah, that was, and I miss the days of Will Smith writing like a hit blockbuster song to accompany all the movies that he was in.
Was it only 2 or was there more?
I think there was more. But he also had some classic songs like Getting Jiggy With It, right?
Jiggy With It.
Just the two of us. I hated that one. But Millennium, that was the name of the other song.
Just the two of us.
You and I.
But yeah, Wild Wild West is another great song. It was just classic.
Wicked Wild Wild, Wicked Wild Wild, Wicked Wild Wild West.
I know what you're gonna listen to on the way home.
Yes, that was like when we came back from.
No, we went to go see Stevie Wonder. We were like, let's play Will Smith songs.
No, and wasn't it Nelly too or something like that? We did something else too. Cisco, was it Cisco?
Well, because he's in the Wild Wild West song.
Yep,
we're like, dang, Cisco, I miss you. Yeah, but I love Will Smith. So here are some embarrassing things that I did because of this movie. Mm-hmm. So number one was I was at the grocery store. I was obsessed with this movie, obviously. And I see in the book, remember the book section of Stop and Shop had all those? They smelled like Stop and Shop. They just like grocery store books were just so, the pages
They're
were
like
so,
hardcover beach reads.
It wasn't hardcover, it was paperback. But so I spot this book and it's Men in Black and it's got Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones on it. So I'm like, oh, sweet. Like I didn't know that Men in Black was based on a book. Like I got to read this. So I make my mom buy this book for me. I start reading it and I'm like, dang, this is like word for word. Like this is a pretty incredible what they did here. And then I flip back to the front and it's like based on the motion picture Men in Black. So it was a book based on the movie.
Which was based on a comic book.
Right. But so I don't know if they do this anymore where they make a book out of the movie. So it's just really like word for word what happens on the screen is in the book. And I was so embarrassed. I like hid it like in the back of my bookshelf. I was like, I didn't buy
they've
that.
done that with like Star Wars movies. I feel like.
Well, those are like like other universe. There's all these, I think it's part of the Star Wars universe or whatever. Secondly, in gym class in the 5th grade, I had a real run of creating my own tag games and then making the class play them.
Wow.
So this one I created was called the Men in Black tag game. And it was basically like your typical tag game, the stuck in the mud variation, if you will.
It's stuck in the mud.
Where you're,
Thought of that game in years.
Or freeze tag, where somebody...
Freeze tag. What's the one where you need to like crawl under people's...
I hate tag.
No, what is it?
Yeah,
You need to crawl under
that's
people's...
stuck in the
What's
mud.
TV tag? Remember that one?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, what you did though. But anyways, so this one that I created was everybody is an alien, and then there's like 3 Men in Black people. Oh no, everyone's a person, a regular human. There's 3 Men in Blacks and then like 2 aliens. So the aliens are it, and they run around and they try to tag people. And if you get tagged, you're frozen. You can't move until a Men in Black comes to you and then neuralizes you, and then you can move again.
That sounds like a good game.
And of course, I made the gym teacher play the Men in Black song during this. So that's what was playing when we were all running around.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I did a lot of embarrassing things like that.
That's cool.
I also called the radio station once during Dusty and Daphne's 70s dance party show and was like, can you play Respect by Aretha Franklin because it's the USM Elementary School's theme this year? And then I recorded it. Daphne was like, and this next song goes out to Andre, who just informed me that USM Elementary School's theme. And I made my gym teacher play that too.
Oh my God. You were like crazy, weirdly outgoing for a shy girl. It's like kind of bizarre. Okay, want to know how to play TV tag?
Yeah.
When a person who is it tags somebody, they are frozen in place. To be unfrozen, someone must touch them and must yell out the name of a TV show. The TV show can only be used once.
Whoa.
Play continues until all are frozen. Last person to be tagged is it for the next game.
How can you remember what all these other people are just like yelling out?
That's dumb.
You have to hear that?
That's a dumb game.
That's super dumb. Not to mention, kids know like 5 TV shows, maybe less.
Right. That's probably why it works, because then you'd be like,
wait, what happens when you run out of TV? If you say a TV show that had already been named?
Doesn't work.
So you're like frozen forever.
Who's reffing this?
I don't know. I hated gym class. I only liked gym class when we played floor hockey, but all those tag games, capture the
I
flag.
liked capture the flag.
Oh,
Steal the
capture the
beanbags. I love steal the beanbags.
I wonder if other people had beanbag variations of games like we did.
What about I didn't love capture the flag.
I hated stealing once, and I hated capture the flag, but I loved slide the beanbags, where you had to hit people with the beanbags sliding it on the floor.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Well, it was like
I hated capture the flag because the field was too big and it was so fucking stressful.
That's
like
why
if
I
you
did
were
not
the
like it either.
There were so many times where like I was one of the only ones left to rescue everybody else. Oh my God, forget it.
Were you to rescue people?
Because
I thought your team was just gone.
No, steal the beanbags or like capture the flag. There's like a jail, and you can go and break out the jail. You have to be free and go in there and tag everybody to get them all out.
God.
So like if the team is smart, they will have someone guarding. But then sometimes those kind of get pulled, and then like the jail is free. There's only one person. You can outrun them. Ugh. Sometimes you sacrifice yourself, and sometimes you'll only get in jail, but you like release everybody else.
I hated that.
It's just a very stressful game because if everyone was in jail and being like, Emily, I'd be like, I can't do it.
So what would you do? Get the beanbags?
Sacrifice myself. I'm like, I'm just gonna go like kamikaze, like run.
Gym class is the worst.
You can do it. It was just really
I
stressful.
hated gym class. But I loved floor hockey for some reason. I was really good at it.
Pillow polo.
Yeah.
The sticks
harder, but also fun. Totally.
Good times.
Good times. Good try. So is that all the notes? So when we started watching this in the movie theater, you were like, oh, how are we going to take notes? Because I brought our little notebooks for us to write notes in. And of course I was like, oh, there'll be enough light, please. Like it's lighter than you think.
Yeah.
Your eyes will adjust. It's fine. Turns out not so
really
much. This movie's actually pretty dark.
People who review movies take notes.
Yeah, I think they sit in the front maybe. They
the
sit
back.
closer to the front where like there's a little more light. I could not see anything, and my notebook is a testament to this because there's one sentence that I wrote over another sentence like 5 times. So I have no idea what this says.
Yeah, shit ain't easy.
Tablets, chokers, trimbers. I don't know. It's pretty tough. So props to you if you can take notes in a dark movie theater. How do you feel about those little skinny guys, those little aliens that are in the coffee room, break room?
I think it's just not my kind of joke. Just not that funny.
They factor more into the second one, I think. But I loved them in this one. I thought they were really
so
funny.
there's a couple sequels to this, if you remember. So there's Men in Black 2 and then 3.
Yes. And 2 is they go back to get Tommy Lee Jones after they've neuralized him because they need him back for some reason. I don't know. The second one has Johnny Knoxville in it, if that tells you anything about the quality of the movie.
That one, but and we just saw the third one kind of last couple years, so I do remember that one.
Yeah,
and I
the third
did
one's
like that
cool.
one because
It's
I
got-
thought the Josh Brolin character was a really good. He did an amazing Tommy Lee Jones impression.
He kind of looks. I was
And he
watching
looks like
Tommy
him.
Lee Jones in this one, and I was like, oh, he does kind of look like Josh Brolin. But yeah, so that one's cool. It's time travel-y.
So, like, kind of interesting little, not trivia, but like whatever, Cape Cod connection, if you will. So we, when you're watching this, Tommy Lee Jones basically does like a sketchy, like stalker thing to his old wife. So he has all this technology and he uses the satellites to like look in on his like ex-girlfriend. Like, buddy, give up. It was 30 years ago. Like, move on. I guess there's not a lot of women MIBs, so I feel
Or
bad.
any. I don't think there's any of those shenanigans. Like, where do they sleep? That's a question I have. Do they sleep?
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't go into that. Anyway, so he's like creeping on his old lady. I mean, they just dated. They weren't married. But anyway, so the satellite zooms in. So first it's like the US and then it's like Eastern Seaboard and then it goes to Massachusetts.
Types something in first.
So he types in Truro, Massachusetts, which is on Cape Cod, a couple towns up from where we live. So it zooms in on like Massachusetts and then it zooms in on Cape Cod. But then where it zooms in on is not actually Truro, Massachusetts. It is like, would be the equivalent to like Yarmouth.
Plymouth. It's even. It's
Yeah.
like really up there.
It's so dumb. And it just makes you be like, why wouldn't you fucking zoom in on the right? How hard would it be to actually know where that place is and to zoom in on the right spot?
Yeah. So our friends
Weird.
and I were talking about this, and one of my friend Izzy. Hey Izzy, lives in Truro, so it's always like a main point of contention.
But I remember
of
when
this
we
movie where you're like,
saw this movie in the Wellfleet Drive-In.
Yes.
Truro is literally up one town up from where we
Everybody
saw the movie.
cheered.
So when he types in Truro, Massachusetts, everyone was like, "Woo!" like freaking out, and then it fucking zooms into somewhere else.
yeah.
It was very sad. It was a sad day to be a Cape Codder. That
And it's funny because in the second one, when they go back to release Tommy Lee Jones from his coma state or like not remembering state, he's actually working as a mailman in the post office, and the Truro post office is in a lighthouse in their version of this movie, which is not at all where the post office is in actual Truro. So it's just funny little things like that where you're like, they knew of the town Truro, but not enough to know where it was. But I think somebody told me once that like the screenwriter or someone was from there or like vacation there, and that's why they knew that. But I mean, whoever the assistants are like doing that kind of stuff,
what a miss!
didn't
That's
look
so
it up
dumb.
or something. I don't know.
Hello.
Yeah, so that's that little ditty. Anything else? I feel like I had so many things to say, and now it's just all
Yeah, no,
turned
I
to
mean,
mush.
good movie. Really enjoyed it. I know a couple of people who've never seen this movie before. Sad for you. Maybe that's you. You should watch it. It's a good one. And I can't believe that if you were like a kid in the 90s and you missed any Will Smith movie, I feel like that would be a strange thing that people did.
I never saw Wild Wild West.
I didn't either.
Or
That's
that's
right.
probably terrible. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm
clips of
blanking
it,
on his
maybe.
other ones. I mean, Independence Day obviously
Oh,
was like the other giant one.
Bagger Vance.
The Legend of Bagger Vance. No, I've never seen that.
Pursuit of Happiness. That's when he started getting like, oh yeah. So we had this discussion about Will Smith. So after the movie, we had actually went to this pretty cool like after party that had like free sushi and beer and cider. Pretty awesome. And we started talking about what Will Smith, like what he ended up doing. So it's like he did all these like action comedy movies and became this like gigantic star. He had his movie career or music career. And then he started to do more serious roles, which was kind of working out for him. I mean, Pursuit of Happiness, I think he got an Oscar nom. Muhammad Ali, definitely got the Oscar nom for that. And then sort of like trailed off to doing not great movies. And the last ones he was in Suicide Squad. He was in the concussion one. Sweetie,
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. That one?
Sweetie's favorite line of any movie in the last 5 years. And then that one that came out this Christmas where like his son died and like all these like love and whatever came to like wrote letters to him, or he wrote letters to
Collateral
love.
Beauty?
Yeah.
Huh.
He wrote letters to like love and death and time or whatever. Remember?
Did you know that they're doing the live action Aladdin and he's the genie?
What?
Yeah.
The what's his name?
It says
Guy
upcoming.
Ritchie one?
I don't know. It just says in production Aladdin genie.
What?
Yeah. Fuck.
Whatever.
Fuck.
I'm not into those stupid live action bullshit things.
But yeah,
anymore.
he's been in some shitty things.
Yeah, like what are his most recent things?
Collateral Beauty. Or
Not all
whatever.
the other ones I just listed. Any others?
Oh, I don't know. Focus, Winter's Tale, Anchorman 2. He was an ESPN reporter. He was in that movie After Earth with his son, Jaden Smith.
Oh, he's also in I Am Legend, right?
Yeah, he's an I Am Legend, iRobot, Enemy of the State. I really liked that movie.
That's
yeah.
great.
But yeah, he was just such an action star. And then obviously his main movie that he started with, I think, was Bad Boys, which I've never seen.
Oh my god, that's so funny. That's such a good
Is
movie.
it? Yeah, I want to see it. But he was just so great, and he just was so. He was a real
Mike Lowry.
triple threat.
That movie. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, triple threat. Sing, dance, act. So I mean, he was great.
Yeah, I love Will Smith. I mean, I take it back. I guess he has kept
weird
working
now.
and been doing
Isn't
stuff.
he kind of weird? Isn't
Well,
he like
wasn't
sort
there
of
that, like,
ties to
tie
Scientology?
into Scientology? Yeah.
And he kept like pushing all his kids on like in like
Well,
weird movies.
and I think now that probably like the cred that he has lost is like due to his children being like annoying pieces of poop.
yeah.
Like they're just
I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back.
like they're almost too cool, because I feel like Will Smith was the approachable cool. Like he was a really cool guy and everybody liked him, but he wasn't like untouchable. And his kids are like, I'm too fucking cool for that. I just saw this thing on Twitter where like Jaden Smith, like somebody like they put soap in his pancakes or something like that, and he like got kicked out of some hotel room, and he was like complaining about the hotel chain that he stayed in.
Sorry, who put soap in his pancakes? The hotel? And then the hotel kicked him out? That's shitty.
No,
That's shitty on them.
Like Google it. It's like the weirdest fucking story you've ever heard. And they're just like this weird privilegey kids who are like got too famous too young, and are just like, you know. That's all I'll say about that.
Okay. Jaden Smith claims Canadian hotel spiked his pancakes with cheese and kicked him out. What?
It's like the weirdest Twitter feed.
The series of tweets began with, I hope the Four Seasons in Toronto puts me on the no stay list. Oh my God.
Like, what are you talking about?
Okay, so the thing he ordered is lemon ricotta hotcakes, which, if you don't know what ricotta is cheese. That's great. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, it wasn't soap. Man, this is how rumors get started, people.
I was like, what?
Did you hear that story where the hotel put soap in Jaden Smith's pancakes and then he tweeted about it?
Oh, Jaden.
Man. Anyway.
Man, good times.
Good times.
Good times. But yeah, great movie. Really brought me back to the glory days of 97.
Yeah. Glory days. That's a Bruce Springsteen song. I don't know the rest of the lyrics.
Cool.
Glory days.
Cool.
Glory days.
But if you have wonderful memories of Men in Black of your own, come find us on Twitter at the Sweety Club and tell us about it. Or come find us on Instagram at Large Marge Sent Us and tell us about it there. Do whatever you want. We don't care.
Yeah.
But we just thank you for listening. Just thank you so much. We love you.
Love you.
And keep listening. And that's it. Okay. Bye.
Bye.